Sarfaraz, can I ask you, please give me the rights to share the screen, please?
Yeah, sure, sorry.
So, can anyone please confirm if you people are able to see my screen? Okay, that's great. So let's begin with the chapter 24. This is a very small chapter. It starts from 238 page and it's end on the 245. So it's just a, 7 pages of chapter. Actually, this chapter is uh, to be with family and to a bit of chill around. Okay, so I'll directly jump on the page number 3. This chapter states that Bill and his family are visiting to the pumpkin patch on Saturday. They spend day together, and Bill watching a movie with his wife. He gets a call on his phone from John, and he answered the phone after ignoring a couple of calls. So I think most of us, we have that kind of habit. Of course, if we are chilling out with our family, specifically on the weekends or when we are on the leave, and if we get a call, we try to ignore it. Of course, we all need the vacation. It's a need and a, but it's my in general observation. Of course, I'm sharing my incidents and the experience. If we could try to call the European people on the weekends, they never entertain, and they expect, if we people are on the vacation and if we get a call specifically on the weekends and when we are on leave, they expect all of us to pick the call and answer. So I don't know, this is expectation missing the expectation, or this is typical Indian attitude, I should say. Okay, so he just tried to ignore those calls, and then John asked Bill to meet him in a bar. Bill eventually agrees. When Bill sees John's, he looks awful. John is very drunk. Of course, that's a weekend, that's his personal time. John says that he has just been at home watching TV. He wants to ask Bill one last question before he leaves. Bill answers, "Look, John, you are a good guy, and I know your heart is in the right place. But up until you help hide us, the PC auditors doing the phonics meltdown, I would have say no. I know that's not what you want to hear, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't feeding you line of a bullshit." I don't know what this language is. Probably they might have some kind of a good relation, so they might speaking in this kind of language. But of course, I wouldn't prefer this kind of language when we are specifically in the office. John downs a glass of scotch after hearing Bill's response and asks for another. But Bill tells waiter not to get in and order a cab. Bill puts John in the cab and sends him home. But he tries calling John next day, but John does not answer. Of course, similar thing it repeats that. There are still rumors circulating at the office regarding what happened. Last Monday night, later Monday night, Bill receives a text from John. "Thanks for the lift home another day. Been thinking, I told Dick that I'll be joining 8 a.m. meeting tomorrow. Should be interesting." Bill doesn't know what that meeting is about. Bill asks John that what this meeting is, what this subject is. Doesn't have any information on that one. John response that he doesn't make that well. Bill need to change that together. Bill calls John and see what's happening. See, actually, this conversation is something a bit of weird, which I felt it. And when we want to say no, we try to avoid the people. And this is what is shown here. I think probably we all have been to that situations, and we can try to relate this. So instead of my couple of learnings, I try to put a best quote which I've been come across while reading this, and I've tried to put it in my last slide. So these are project quotes which I really liked it, and I thought that it word share. So improve daily work even what made those teams great. Everyone trusted each one of them. Trust me, I got only one team when I was with IBM. Every team member, 29 members team which I was leading, everyone wants to have the trust each other. Right after that, I haven't got a chance to lead that kind of team. But still, I remember those team members because those are very lively guys. And moreover, those people were the trustworthy people. So really dying to get those kind of team members in my team. Practice creates habit, and habits create the mastery of all process or skill. One of the best quote I really, this is third, second, and third are the best which I've ever had it in my entire career. Last one, we are hearing more likely something called DevOps. Maybe everyone attending the party of a forms of DevOps, but I suspect it's something such more than that. It's product management, development, IT operations, and even information security, all working together and supporting one another. I think it has described well what actually DevOps is. Implement DevOps, then adopting this kind of skills, probably the methodologies, and going forward, probably we can change our IT environment. So this is very small chapter the way I said it, and this chapter ends. So I thought that I should be sharing with you all. Any comments or any discussion wants to continue on this one, then I'll be happy to do that.
I think, Prasad, whatever you told, right? Okay, improvement the daily BAU is more than is important, but I think you told that okay, the daily improvement is also more important, right? So I really like that one.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And whatever the other sentences you shared, it will be great if you just I think it will be great if you share these sentences in the group or at least on WhatsApp. Okay, because I really like these sentences, and I think it is worth in my mind as well.
Fantastic. I'm doing that right now.
And I think,
Thank you.
yeah, yes, it will be great if you put on the WhatsApp as well, because if we log off from this Zoom meeting, then it will go away.
Not
But
to
it
worry.
will be great if you put in the in the
Yeah,
common.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yes,
Thank
that
you,
will be great.
Abdul. I appreciate your feedback.
These are worth, framing, I would say.
Thank you. You know,
Definition of DevOps is very good, and I feel business is missing in that. Okay, we'll discuss that in chapter 26. Yeah.
Thank you. See, actually, I'm father, okay, and I've got two boys, and both are about to, starting verge of become the adult now. So these kind of quotes, at least one quote I'm giving to these boys, my boys, the moment they start their day. Whether they take it good way, bad way, that's their takeout. But I try to give, and some type of period, if I forgot, then these boys are coming to me and they're pinpointing my practice. How you can forgot? See, they don't want code, but they want to pinpoint on my practice. so so this is the idea which I got it to share with you all.
It also resonates with one of the things mentioned here: practice create habits, and habits create mastery of any process or skill. Right? So you're creating a habit that they get some sort of wisdom every day in part of codes. I like that habit.
Yeah. Thank you, Brett. So I think I'm handing over back to Sarfaraj.
Thanks, Prasad.
Thanks, Prasad. Okay, so I think if we don't have anything, we can start with chapter 25. So it's up to me. First of all, sorry that I'm not video presentable today. Like I'm at my native and I have very low bandwidth. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, but before getting into chapter 25, so as chapter 24 was small, chapter 25 is also a bit small, and it doesn't have anything like nothing about a story kind of stuff. There are not a lot many events happening. So start of chapter, just a meeting between Bill, John, and Dick. Dick, who is the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer of the Parts Unlimited, and John and Bill, they are in a meeting with Dick, and they are no, it's kind of an interview with Dick, and John has come up with some questions. He's asking Dick about his strategies, about his goals for the upcoming year. So the discussion about that, and Dick tells them about the daily goals, what activities he is doing a day in and day out every day, and his goals, and whatever he thinks could not help the company to forward and achieve great heights. That is one discussion of the chapter. Second discussion is between Bill and Eric, where Eric is now giving some advice to Bill and to work on the goals and ideas shared by Dick, and they're going to meet further because Bill and John, they have got an assignment. They have to work on the goals and the ideas shared by Dick, and they have to present them back, and they have to present the understanding and learning from that. So that ends the chapter where there's a meeting. So the basic main highlight of this chapter was the goals and the ideas listed. So I'll just share my screen very quickly. We can go over that. Yeah, can you confirm if you can see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay, so these are the basic goals,
Yes, I
the
can see.
CFO goals, which Dick. So when John asks Dick, what are the goals? What are the daily goals which you do? So in return, Dick says that these are the goals which he takes care of health of the company. So like we all agree that health of the company is very, very critical and important. The revenue, because he is the chief financial officer, so all the revenue related, whatever ins and outs, that is one goal which is looking after the market share, then average order size, profitability. So which application and which work stream is giving more profit to the company, return on assets, health of finance, being the head of the finance team, so he is responsible for the health of that, order to cash cycle, then accounts receivable, accurate and timely financial reporting. So this is one of the key takeaways and key factors, which is CFO responsible, because accurate and timely financial reporting is very important. Then borrowing cost. If this is not important, then as we already seen the SOX 404 auditing, which happened on the Phoenix, where the auditors, because due to the financial inventory error which happened in the start of the chapters, so that's why the accurate and timely reporting is important. Then borrowing cost. So these are the basic goals which Dick shares with Bill and John, and he asks them to go through this and get the understanding of what they can derive out of these goals. So that is one part. Second is, these are the basic questions and kind of retrospective which Dick has, like, are we competitive enough? First thing. Then understanding customer needs and wants, like, do we know what to build? So this is again very important question. So understanding the customer needs and wants, like, you should all agree that even when we are working in IT and we come to a situation where we're not aware of what customer exactly wants, we go into so many meetings, discuss with them the architecture, the model, so, and we take down the key points. So what to build is very important, because if we end up building something wrong, then it's total disaster. Then the product portfolio, do we have the right products? R&D effectiveness, can we build it effectively? So if we have an idea and if we know what to build, but then we should have a team and resources who are capable of building it effectively. Then time to market, can we ship it soon enough to matter? So if we even have a good team, do we have enough time in hand to complete that work? So here comes to the estimates and the experience. Based on that, we can see how we can forecast the work. Then sales pipeline, can we connect products to interested prospects? And so this is also one more important thing. Can we connect our products, convert the products to interested prospects? So these prospects basically getting the new clients. So if we have already existing products which we have, so can we have a new set of clients who can work, who can use our products? Are we effective as an overall team? So customer on time delivery, our customers getting what we promised them? So whatever customer want is, we have to come up and we have to meet the requirements of the customer. Then customer retention, are we gaining or losing customers? So this also happens like every time. So we have contracts signed like 6 months, 1 year, and after that it's up to the customers to retain or to they can also cancel the contract. This happens recently in one of my projects where the customer totally they plan to move away of the organization and they switch to different organization. So this is also very important when they're planning. Then the sales forecast accuracy, can you factor this into a sales planning process? So the forecast is, as I said, is very important when we are doing any planning. So these are the basic questions which Dick shares with Bill and John, and he asks them to go through this and get the understanding of what he does and what a CFO does on a goal and measures perspective. So these are measurements which he has shared, and the previous slide covered the goals of a CFO. So now this chapter only covers these two major concepts where the CFO Dick he's been asked about the goals and the measurements which he's taking. So these are the two things which he has shared, and now Bill and John, maybe in the upcoming chapters we'll see that how Bill and John they'll go through these and derive understanding, and they meet back with Dick and they share the understanding. So that's about the chapter. Nothing much to cover, but these are the two major points which I thought we can discuss. These are like this slide, like mainly the measures. So we all of us might have come across these questions when we do planning, when we do sprint planning, something like that.
I like this format that you used, Sir Faraz, this time. It's quite unique, and it is keeping it crisp, and you highlighted the most important things, because we all have read this, or at least that is what we feel. So that is what is our goal, that we all read and then we share our insights.
Yeah.
So thanks for putting in efforts to do this.
Yeah. Thank you. What I really like it, sales pipeline. Even we all know that we worked on many pre-project work, probably the pre-sales work, I should say. Okay, and we try to put our efforts in terms of the designing the proposal and sharing with the customers, but how many of them are getting actually converted into the billable projects? That data, no one is having that kind of data. Okay, so if we try to do that, then actually I think it includes the man hours, it includes the some handsome amount to complete those kind of tasks. So we really need to jump and see this, how many hours and how many rupees we have invested to just giving the some kind of a high level quotation to the customer, and how many have been converted into the actual projects. And if we couldn't get that, we need to see that what the best we can do to get those kind of projects. So then only it will have a very good meaning altogether. Of course, this is very good and nice point.
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely.
In next chapter, we have table presentation, like in the books itself, they have provided one table structure kind of this, all these points.
I think then if you don't have anything, we can move to the next chapter. I think Mustaq, you're presenting next chapter.
So Shoaib is there, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay, Shoaib's next chapter. Yeah, Shoaib, over to you.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay. So now I'm moving to chapter 26, and I just named it into when IT meets business. So yeah, this chapter is basically all about the business meetings or the different interviews which Bill Patty had with two of the business VPs, and it's mainly on that and what are the challenges, how frustrated they are with the work that is going on and what are the challenges they are facing. So basically, it's sort of a requirement gathering and understanding how IT is being, or how much it's a, I can say, a check for them that whether they are able to meet the business requirement or not. So the chapter starts with meeting of Bill with Patty, Wes, and John, and they quickly Bill summarizes what he had a discussion with Eric, and based on that, they decided that Patty and Bill will go and have the meetings with business process owner to understand the customer needs, their what are their needs and wants, the different product portfolio, and time to market and sales pipeline. Meanwhile, John will do the research on business SOX 404 control environment. So that was a quick meeting for them. After that, they interviewed Ron Johnson. So he is a VP of manufacturing sales. So Bill described him as, very loud and outspoken person, but actually he is introvert and very analytical and passionate about sales discipline. So as a part of his job, he travels across the world helping to negotiate different deals, and he's also to save the troubled account. So while discussing, they came to know different challenges across a different areas which Ron was working on. So one was related to Salesforce forecast accuracy, and basically what main issue is, they are given some arbitrary revenue targets by top management, and they have to meet that at any cost. But the team is working on it. But the issue goes, this particular thing become more troublesome for them because they don't have a clear understanding of customer needs and wants, and quickly products get out of a stock, and they don't have the required amount of stock at the right time in their stores. So that is one of the main challenges Ron is facing related to sales and forecast. Another thing is related to their CRM systems. So for their manager, it's very difficult. They have the system in place, but it's hardly working for managers. They're not able to get any reports from it. And their their workforce is hardly using CRM system for the rework schedule and uploading the details. So they have an IT system, but it's not of any use at the moment. So these are the challenges. And apart from that, what happened is, due to uncertain IT failures, like we in the previous chapter we saw related to the phone system outage. I know it was due to some unannounced and unauthorized vendor changes, which collapsed the entire phone system. So due to that, they had a very big impact on their sales. The customer was not able to make any place any orders, and they cannot make any last moment changes. So yeah, it was these were the pain points and the challenges which they came to know from the manufacturing sales department. And what Patty what they concluded with that they will further understand the complete architecture and all the application infrastructure that Ron team uses and that support Ron's, and what are those the fragile part of it, and they will try to be proactive about it. Second business meeting was with Maggie Lee. So basically, she is one who is the main sponsor of Phoenix project, and the majority of the IT projects are being sponsored by Maggie. And her main responsibility is to ensure that their stores have the best possible range of the products, and how to categorize them, and what should be the pricing, and all these things are done by Maggie. So the main challenge that she faces with respect to IT is related to data quality. She don't have the right amount of data which has very bad quality, and she cannot make any decisions based on that. So what her main requirement was that she should be having very accurate, timely information from the different stores, and it should be very quickly to access, and so that they can quickly refill the products, and what are the products are out of stock, they can refill it. They have a very good R&D team, and they have a very good manufacturing capacity, but due to non-understanding of these retail requirements and operations, they're not able to work together in that. So Bill was thinking that all these things are being worked as a part of Phoenix, but it was not the case, because a lot of requirements are constantly getting dropped because of IT, because of the timeline pressure and different things. And the main important requirement that is constantly being dropped or delayed is related to reporting features. So that was their discussion. And one important thing is, when they were discussing, I forgot to mention, is when they were discussing with Ron, so they came up with, they just discussed why exactly this IT failure happened, and what they are trying, well, part of IT improvement and process improvement, but they have something, funding is being a challenge for them. So Ron ensured that we are investing a lot of money in unnecessary thing. So, and I think he ensured that if they need anything and funding related, he will directly talk to CEO and get those fundings cleared. So that was the chapter 26 all about. So what I concluded, or what I understood from it, is constant in between IT and business, because till chapter 26, every team was working, specifically business and IT was working completely different. They are not clear about the requirement, but it has widened their scope of it. They understood, from the ground level, they understood what exactly the business need is, and what system they need to prioritize, what system they need to focus on. Another thing is data quality is important, I would say, because I do that, and I have seen how bad data we have in our production system. And yeah, and second thing is that I liked about, John is now completely into a new form, and he is in a different level of thinking, and the meeting with CTO, CFO, and then whatever the conclusion of it, and then they are just coming down now. They understand what exactly CTO needs, CFO needs, and now what are the different managers are doing to support that goals and the sales target, and based on that, what IT can support them on. So yeah, it was. I have this much to share on chapter 26. Thank you.
So I think in 27 from this chapter conversion 26 and 25th, I think 27 is summary or conclusion of this 26 and 25th. So let me share my screen.
So one thing that was my learning from this chapter was about thing called as systems thinking. Right? That when we are into IT, we are in this bubble that IT is everything. But now when business meets IT, you start thinking of the entire system, or at least how the parts are connected. So that was something really interesting for me.
Hmm. Okay, so in 27, we have seen in the previous chapter 24th. No, 25th we have seen 24th and 25th. 25th we have seen regarding this measurements we should take to deal with the future challenges. So it was, I mean, 27 is actually in a three meetings. So first meeting Bill is having with the Patty, West, Chris, and John. And in this meeting, Bill had interviewed with Ron and Maggie regarding the business process owners, Dick's company measurement slide. So he is just trying to present his understanding in a table format, which he divided into four parts, like performance measures, areas of IT reliance, business risk due to IT, and IT controls relied upon. So he divided into four parts, and he mentioned 8 points regarding different performance measures like understanding customer needs and wants, time to market, sales pipeline, customer retention, and all, and so forth. So he just presented these all points, and what are the areas of IT reliance and what are the business risk uh, if IT fails. So like for example in a Phoenix we have seen that time to market is very important. He think that, and if business risk, if we talk about, then it's like 3 year cycle time, and work in progress makes clearing all IRR hurdle rates unlikely. And if you take about the sales pipeline, so it areas of IT reliance is like CRM, marketing campaign, phone, voicemail, MRP systems, and all these things. And if this sales pipeline got impacted, then it might be the sales management can't view or manage the sales pipeline, customers can't add or change orders, and so forth. So this kind of business risks are involved. So he just presented this all points into the table format. And later on, once he presented, uh, Chris was saying that, how I really like Bill's third column, that business risk due to IT. And John says that by describing what could we go wrong in the IT that prevents the business outcome from being achieved. So Chris was just cherishing the Bill, and he was saying that nice job. But after that, Bill says what the solution. Anyone have any idea regarding this table, and what could be done to prevent these issues in future? So after this long discussion, Wes says that even a monkey could follow the dots we just connected. So in the previous table, which we have seen, that if we plan out, or if we will present this kind of situation in a pictorial presentation or graphical presentation, then he's think that even monkey could follow the dots we just connected. So it's a quote by Wes. And during this second part, Bill has meeting with the Ron and Maggie, which we have seen in a previous chapters. So when Ron learns that we still haven't been granted the budget for monitoring projects, he immediately calls to the Dick right on in front of Bill's and his team, and leaving him a heated voice that demanding to know why he's dragging his feet. And then after Bill sit upright and begin the pitch that he was rehearsed so many times with the team. And what he presented, like he wants 3 weeks with each of the business process owners on that spreadsheet. And he think that we need to get the business risk first by IT better defined and agreed upon, and then propose to you where to integrate those risks into leading indicators of performance. So how we can define all these risk, and how we can come up with this risk in a future to remove this, I mean, to mitigate the risk what we will come up in the future. So he was just trying to say that our goal is not just to improve the business performance, but to get the earlier indicators of whether we are going to achieve them or not. And when this meeting end up, so Bill was just trying to walk out of this his office, and Eric clapped his hand on his shoulder, and he was saying that not bad, this kid, and he was just congratulating the Bill. But Bill, this Eric was proposing that uh, you are now help John. Eric was proposing because you are going to have your hands full taking the second wave. So Bill was confusing why, what's going to happen in the next wave. So Eric says that you will find out soon enough. And with this, Eric end up his meeting with the Bill. I mean, Bill end up this meeting. So in a third part, Bill is having meeting with his colleagues again, and he was just planning or he was just presenting which could reduce company security related workload by 75 percentage. So he was just presenting 5 points which can reduce this security related risk. So first point, he proposed that if we will drastically reduce the scope of the SOX 404 compliance program, then it will impact to the reducing this security risk. So second point, he was proposing that find out how production vulnerability got there, and that was the second proposal. And third proposal, he was proposed like flag all the system in the scope for compliance audits in Petty's change management process, so we can avoid changes that could jeopardize our audits, and that we can create the ongoing documentation that auditors will ask for it. So this is the third proposal. And fourth was reducing the size of all time we have saved from his previous proposal, PCI compliance program, by getting rid of anything that stores or process cardholder data, which is like toxic waste and losing mishandle and for the. And fifth one, he on all the in a use all we have saved from this 5 points saving chapters. Also we have seen that Bill was consulting from top to bottom, and it's like if we want to sort out this kind of situation, then it's three I think consult, plan and execute, this one point. And if we will segregate all this we are seeing in the day-to-day life as well, like if we are getting any production issues or any defect issues, then if we are segregating any work or if we are trying to debug any issues, then if we will segregate these any issues, then it will have a clear picture what to do and what not to do. So I think this end with the 27 chapter. So that's it from mine.
I don't know what has happened between the last week and this week, but you are coming with this great, very good insights and data, and I am absolutely loving it, because it is like whenever I used to do revision when I was in school or something, I used to highlight certain important things and I would just read those. So it is becoming like that. So all the things that I've read are now again coming back. So thank you so much for whatever has happened, but this is great.
Are implementing DevOps in our BRC. We are continuously improving.
Great.
So with this, we have completed 4 chapters within around 40 minutes, 10 minutes each.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that we are not feeling rushed. in this new thing that we are adopting, because our
Mhm.
purpose is to have a connect wherein we all share our learnings and understandings. So if that is happening, then maybe we can think of something else. But if this is working for all of us, then that is great.
I think format is good, and we can target 5 chapters or 4 chapters. We can target, or 4 or 5 chapters of 40 minutes, and then the rest 20 minutes we can have a discussion sort of thing. Common discussions on from all those 4 chapters, and we can connect the link from the previous chapters. We have a 15 minutes to discuss further. If you don't have, then we can discuss plan for the next few weeks. This looks fine. I don't know what others are thinking on this format, but yeah, I'm also liking it.
Now this works fine because as Animish always mentions, right? We already everyone reads this book, like everyone knows about the chapters. So again, presenting the chapter in front of everyone, that is again not going correctly. So if we can just present our ideas and our learnings, that would be more beneficial because everyone has read the chapters.
Yes. So I think last meeting I was thinking about this thing, like whether we should format our 10 minutes or 8 to 10 minutes what we have to present. So I can first 5 minutes what happened after, remaining 3 to 4 minutes we can have a discussion on the what are our learnings from that and the other inputs. I think 4 to 5 minutes will also be more, and if we can reduce it and have a more time for our discussion, that will be more better for us, because the more input I am getting from you people would be, or we are getting from each other would be more, because our experiences are very different and we have a good level of more experienced people here, so we'll learn a lot in that.
At the same time, I feel that there is a huge amount of exposure that you folks have got, which we were not having. So it's an amazing thing to learn from you all as well, because within short duration, you have consumed a lot of information. Maybe you might be in your early years of your career, but I really get to learn from a lot of folks who are just new, or just graduated from college, or just joined corporate. So I personally get to learn a lot.
I wanted to ask this question. When I was reading chapter 26, so I was just thinking, when we entered this world, we saw it in this way only. Because I remember my first project, it was for the production support team, and they were just, ensuring that everyone in their business or IT is raising a ticket. However simple that issue is, if you want to reset a password, if you want anything, you have to raise the ticket. After that, nothing, nobody is going to work on it. And it was all based, basically they were just gathering the data from those tickets and just analyzing where to improve and all that. And after that, automation part came, and a lot of things. I started with that, and still now I am into some other analytical teams where I understand the value of this. From where these things are coming up, because I was reading the chapter 26 and I can relate that a lot, because I was in data quality, and I understand that how that is important and what sort of a data we have in a production system. I've seen very bad words, I would say, in address line, in names and all that. So yeah, we have a very bad quality of data, but and we can't make decisions on that. So yeah, it was I can imagine how the world would be by reading this book before we joined.
That is a very beautiful thought, Shoaib. Most of us are born into independent India, right? But we don't forget to appreciate what has happened for making us independent. So it is just like that. Maybe you stepped into this with all the systems already in place, but through these readings, it opens up your eyes. So when you step into a team that doesn't have these, you will have some knowledge about why is it important, is what I feel. Because I had stepped into a team that was not agile, and it was a waterfall, and I would try to tell them that this is dangerous, but nobody felt it that way. Within 4 years, we had to close the project down. I was the lead there, so some part of the blood was on my knife also. But maybe I was not. I did not convince people enough to do it. But this is what I feel would add to your knowledge on why these systems are put in place. So, any other thoughts, folks, or the people who have not spoken?
I think Prasad initially said regarding this weekend timing. So what I feel this as a Indian, we are the responsible for what we are suffering, because we are the one who have set it the standard. Like we are, available at every time, whether you call it as a 11 p.m. or a 12 p.m. or a weekend, anything, anywhere. If you call me, I will be available. So this is, I think, we are the responsible for our, headache.
But that is also part of our culture, is what I feel,
Yeah.
Mustaq.
Yeah,
As people also, we are very helpful, right? Even if our friends call us,
yeah.
we
So
are
this,
there.
Culture,
If you
culture.
go in those countries, people are very, very independent. They want to have a secluded life. Even if you want to go them and meet, you have to take a prior appointment. That
yeah,
are you
exactly.
free and all. As Indians, we are very helpful and we are very friendly people. Or in fact, most of the Asian countries, for that matter. But they are very independent people. That's why anything that comes into their personal space, they address it as threat.
Yeah. But I think this is one of the, I mean, it's a reason or cause or something. It's kind of inheritance which we are taking, like, hands. What?
On that, I remember one incident. We were, I was supporting on weekend, and there was a very high production issue, and entire site was down, basically manufacturing site. So my manager called everyone in the team, whoever knows about a small thing about that system. Also, they called, asked to log in, and everybody. So in the end, what we did is we have to directly go to SME and ask them. And he was on vacation. He was out, so we called him and say this is the issue, and the next day they have a big delivery. If we miss that, we might lose millions and something. And he just said one thing: the world is not going to end. Tomorrow I will be in office. Will fix it. And he continued. We were like, we were just saying to manager later on, and we were, yes, we are coming in 5 minutes, and left everything. And he was very chill in that. The world is not going to end. Let me enjoy my holidays. I will be back on Monday and do the things. That was very memorable incident for me, and I okay.
That was a learning for you, right?
Yes.
For a long time. That world is not going to end.
Thank you, man.
Consider that everything is chaotic and something is really bad happening, and we need to be that savior. So we try to jump on it all the time. But what he said was very, what is it? Very meaningful. World is not going to end. Tomorrow we are going to have the same thing. Right? So, great.
One more discussion point I was thinking related to definition of DevOps, which Prasad shared. So, do we include business in that? Because in that we have development team, we have information security, and we have everyone. But I found business missing in that. Do we include business in that definition of DevOps?
I think all these are the combination. I mean, business is nothing but all this combination of all this stuff, product management or it's IT or whatever it may be. So ultimately, it's like umbrella. Uh, Business is kind of umbrella and all this stuff beside under business.
But any thoughts on keeping business aside, business out of the equation? Or what will happen if we keep business out of the equation?
I think we can't keep them out of the equation, but I just want to, because everything is driven by business, and because ultimately they have to meet their customer needs, and majority of the IT projects are driven by business only. So we can't keep them out of it, and we can't, we can see what happened till chapter 25th. They were just clueless. They were just implementing Phoenix and dropping the requirements without thinking what business needs are. And they already delayed the important reporting requirement, which the entire department was dependent on. So saying that we can't keep it, but how, as a part of, because as a part of, I was in testing team. So there I was being told that, whenever we are taking the requirements, understanding the requirement from business, first thing you understand it, what exactly that requirement is, what business process it is, based on, and what actual business want to do with it. Because when we represent the entire, we do that demo to the business users, it helps a lot. So, but I was just finding the definition bit, because we are including one way or the other business, because in Agile, right, at the end of the sprint, we give the demo to them. We ask their feedback and then do the loop again. So we are including them. I don't know in other way how we are doing it, but yeah.
I don't know why involved in DevOps, development and operations. Why didn't we not include the business, dev, biz ops, or something like that? Just a question.
Yeah, definitely, I think those acronyms are certainly coming up, and trust me, Miss, maybe yes, at one point in time, I saw around 6 to 7 acronyms that were coming around, and maybe people were trying to maybe just make it a little bit longer, or maybe just combining each and everything together. Yeah, so yeah, maybe those acronyms definitely can tell us something. But again, going back to Sohaib's question, right now, currently, whom do you feel we serve? Do we serve business, or do we serve the customers?
I think we serve the business, because what I understand is from my job, what I have to do, taking from that perspective, we have to serve the business, because we usually go ask them. Ultimately, indirectly, what we ask them are related to their customers, but we are, the main point of contact for us is the business. That's the first point of contact, I would say. And what they give us input is based on the customer. So directly we are serving the business, but indirectly we are serving the customers.
It's a good way to put it. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, great. So yeah, the way I see it, you rightly said that maybe this is how the current setup is, and I think when we are pivoting this, right? So we all are going through some change right now, and when we say we all, the entire industry, I would say, the digital revolution, that is what we call, right? So that is where DevOps is helping us make that shift. So shift from serving to the business rather than serving to the business, getting closer to the customers. So tomorrow we might see that business is just one part of equation. However, our primary thing or primary maybe character that we will serve will start becoming more and more customer. So far, we will see that DevOps generally used to trend around the tools and technologies, right? So what are DevOps tools, or what is CI pipeline, CD pipeline, and then are we doing the automation, all those things, right? Now that's where maybe it started with just an IT development process. So when we have a backlog and then how things move forward, right? So we just focused on that part. Now slowly shift is happening, which talks about that, Prasad mentioned about Prasad, or I believe Sarfraz mentioned about one thing, right? It was that, and those some of the questions. Are we solving the right problems? So even though I might have very smooth, effective, efficient process to deploy a few things, how do I know whether I am whatever I'm developing, whatever I'm deploying at faster pace, whether it is actually solving the purpose or not? Okay, so that's where you will see that slowly, now we have seen business. I would not at all be surprised to see customers and even users becoming part of this equation going forward. What that acronym will maybe shape up, I don't know right now, but yes, maybe that is where slowly we are going towards.
Very interesting observation, Girish. That is, and thanks for sharing that with us. I like it. That what is the problem that we are trying to solve? Right. Always the question goes back to them, and whom are we serving actually? Whose life are we making better? Is it just our? It is our or their, or it is our with their.
Yes, absolutely. So one more thing I just maybe heard, and maybe I thought that we should discuss. So you talked about maybe business gives us something, right? So business gives us something, business feels the IT, and then maybe IT runs as a maybe a part of organization, or maybe a supporting part
Enabler.
of the organization, right? Enabler. Okay. Now maybe in the digital, the game is changing. So far we have seen business has been the central thing. Business was driving, and whatever business was saying, IT was supposed to do. Right. So, and many of us might have seen that. Oh, who were we, right? There were hardly we had any say on the table when it comes to the actual need, customer, and anything, right? So we were in such a situation where we are just IT people, and maybe we are meant for the execution. Whatever business says, you do it. Now, with the technology, the way it is evolving, that equation has even started changing very drastically. Now, technology is not just a kind of a cost center or a kind of a supporting thing. Now, maybe leaders have started thinking it is a kind of a central thing. So now technology has started slowly taking that driving seat, and using that technology, maybe leaders are trying to boost the what customers want. So that is maybe another perspective I just wanted to bring in. So sometime after now, maybe even there are very I think obvious and genuine cases I do see frequently where this model still persists to a great extent, where teams are IT is still serving the business, but going forward, maybe we will start seeing that that shift will start happening. So technology will become a or maybe a stakeholder at the table, and maybe no more we are just taking the orders from the business and serving it as is. Rather, we'll be just going to and fro very quick. That is where the real power of DevOps is going to come into picture. The speed at which we are all are going to go ahead, and the equation of our business itself all will change.
We can assume that the business and IT will be complete. It won't be that term because we can't be defining, because everyone in IT should be knowing the business and they should be doing that. Or if we are in the business, everyone should be knowing the IT. So that is how the things are. So should not be everybody is business and everybody would be the IT. So it would be direct communication with the customer. That bridge would be broken.
Yes, that's fun. I think this is where we are going slowly. Has that shift happened completely? Maybe not. So there are still more and more, maybe a huge number of places where still this is yet to be realized, yet to happen. There are few places where it has been realized by the leaders. However, they are finding that shift very hard. The way we have structured or the way we are operating. But I'm sure, I'm confident that maybe this will happen one day. And DevOps is the key thing. So DevOps actually powers that transformation. What, sir, you were saying something?
No, I was just sharing one small anecdote. Actually, I was training a class, and I was training a class for product owners. And there was my colleague George, and he has a good connection in the industry. So he likes to bring in some guest speakers for 5 minutes or 2 minutes like that. And there was a very surprise thing that happened. There was a person by the name Joe Justice who showed up in our class that day. And when he started sharing about himself, it was really amazing because he gets to work directly with all the top bosses in the industry. So he's the one who is driving agile transformation in hardware industry. So he has worked with Bill Gates directly. Right now, he's working with Elon Musk directly. And the thing that Elon Musk always reminds him is that speed is everything. So automate, automate, automate. So DevOps
Yes.
is the key to get you the speed. When Girish mentioned about the term speed, it immediately reminded me of that thing. So what are the things that are taking longer, and how can you speed them up?
Yep.
Is going to decide how efficient you are going to be.
Absolutely. Yes. So coming back to again, the main question that Soeb asked. So Soeb, at least I personally feel that business definitely is part of when we define the DevOps. I feel that going to be very soon we might see a next revolution or next evolution of that definition, where we'll see some mention of customer or the users as well. And that's how I do see it. Initially, even security was not given part of it. So security was considered as a different animal altogether. And DevOps started with just development team and operations team. So infrastructure and software development, and people used to think around just only two pieces. Slowly, it entered into the security space, now into the business space, and it is going to cover now the entire enterprise.
All the things, Girish, I believe the first things were to, as they say, ironing out the wrinkles, right? There were so many wrinkles in development and operations. So now when things are smoothened, they are trying to explore the other spaces also, how we can again bring the other departments in that, and how we can expand there.
Absolutely. Good. Okay. So with that said, I do realize that we are right at the 5 p.m. So not sure about what is the next plan.